9 years ago, we reported on the Polypill. And the Polypill was a pill that was to contain several different things in the name of prevention, like a blood pressure medicine, and also a statin to reduce cholesterol, and a diuretic, and aspirin on top of it all. Well, all in the name of prevention. Well, now there's more discussion about the Polypill that just came up in the UK, because they did a study on only 84 people in the name of prevention, saying that people over 50 should take a Polypill.
But everybody over 50 who's not particularly at risk for it, just take it so you could lower the risk for developing these diseases, assuming that medicines are the answer. And it's the silliest thing I've ever heard. You're going to take people who don't have a problem, and you're going to give them a problem, because you're going to give them three pills that lower blood pressure to start with, and then add to it a statin in fairly high dosage. Doesn't make any sense to me, because the side effects and the downside of this are going to by far outweigh the problems you get into.
Did they compare this to lifestyle, to the effects of lifestyle?
No, of course not. And it wouldn't be anywhere near as potent as lifestyle. So what we have here is the wonderful journal, the Public Library of Science, a very good journal, printing trash for the first time that I've seen. I mean, how could anybody think that treating everybody just on the basis of their age with all these drugs is going to be a smart thing to do?
You know, I could see, like, some people that are really ill and they are not able to live a healthy lifestyle. In other words,
Right.
They can't exercise, and maybe they
Right.
can't even eat or whatever it is, and then they might have to take a medication. But somebody like you, when he plays tennis, he's able to lower his blood pressure. And about a week ago, you played some tennis, and the weather was pretty warm, and you came home and you were really weak. And then you made the mistake of getting in the hot tub. Well, you know, he almost passed out because his blood pressure dropped so low.
Up to about 60.
But could you imagine if he had taken a blood pressure pill before that? It probably would have killed him. And I'm the same way in the fact that I happen to have low blood pressure, and if I were to take a blood pressure pill, it would probably kill me.
So how smart is it to be aggressive with pills when they're not the best approach to start with? Now, if somebody has had a heart attack or a stroke, they're not going to do lifestyle changes, and you've really educated them on that. You might think about starting one pill at a time, maybe one to control blood pressure, and see what that does. And always trying to encourage the things you could do with your lifestyle that will lower blood pressure. And then if that controls it, okay. And then they have problems with a cholesterol that's too high and shows a bad ratio, you might consider in that setting using a statin drug. But in general, this is going to be associated with a ton of side effects. You look at just the side effects of the statins alone. You're talking about liver disease and liver failure and muscle necrosis and muscle pain and peripheral neuropathies and problems with global amnesia. Those are not things you want to mess with. And those are just the most common ones. There are others as well.
And to think about putting these things for sale over the counter.
Oh, right. Don't even need a prescription. Don't need to see a doctor. And how about something as benign as hydrochlorothiazide? You know, everybody thinks that's not a big deal. It's just a little diuretic. Well, it causes problems like making insulin resistance happen, so that you're predisposed to type 2 diabetes. It raises your uric acid and puts you at risk for problems with gout. It will lower your magnesium and lower your potassium, which can raise your blood pressure and cause muscle cramps and cause problems with vascular spasm. There are a lot of things with these drugs that add up to a lot of side effects.
Well, the other thing is they're trying to show that this was some big fancy study, and there were only 86 patients that were in this study, and it showed that it did reduce ischemic heart disease, and it also reduced the incidence of strokes.
Yeah, but that's in 86 people. Now, come on. To make a statement like that, let's do it on 86,000 people, or maybe 800,000 people, not 86 people.
And do it compared to lifestyle.
Exactly. And, you know, they say that the side effects are only in 29% of people. Baloney. I would say that if you went through, you'd see 29% of people having side effects from any one of those single drugs. And then put them together, you're talking about massive side effects.
Well, I think this sounds like it might have something to do with trying to sell more drugs.
Well, there's conflicts of interest here that are huge from the people that are involved in this, because they have patents in it and they have the backing of Big Pharma. So maybe that's how they got their way into the Public Library of Science, because in general it's a good journal.
But how about if you wanted to encourage something, maybe to encourage some supplements? However, they don't even want supplements to be legal.
Well, the problem here
But
is...
they want it to be legal, that you could get these pills without having a prescription.
All right, so the Polypill for primary prevention, no chance. Let's try to do what we can to take care of ourselves. Healthy lifestyle, much more powerful, much safer, and you'll feel much better.